What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode. In this episode, which is part 2 of how to ride a motorcycle, I'm going to be showing you how to safely ride your motorcycle without being shit scared the first time you get on the road. So anyways, with that said, we are in a parking lot, and there's a reason why I brought you here to this parking lot. The very first time you get your motorcycle, you are not going to take your motorcycle and go straight onto the street. What you're going to do is you're going to do one simple thing inside of the parking lot, and that is to learn how to turn your motorcycle. Now, you see, getting on a motorcycle, turning the key on, and going straight, it's pretty simple. But regardless, a 400-pound motorcycle to anyone just starting out could feel absolutely massive. Just getting on this thing, putting a leg over it, and just moving it to the center could be very, very heavy. So what we're going to be learning before we actually take the motorcycle on the street is how to turn the motorcycle. And we do that by going in circles a few times, once clockwise and then another time counterclockwise. And then once we actually take it to the street, you'll begin to realize that you're a lot more comfortable turning into intersections and getting onto highway ramps and going into parking lots and parking your bike. Things become a lot more easy. Now, if you decide to take your motorcycle and go straight onto the street, you might make mistakes and drop your bike the first time around. So this is what I want to help you avoid. And I'll demonstrate for you what you should do a couple of times a week, and I'll tell you exactly how much to do it and the frequency, etc. once we start getting on the road. But for now, we have these lights here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a couple of circles around these lights. Turn your head all the way to the left and keep making circles. And I understand this is like a wide circle, but later on, you see the traffic cones that are on my right side. We're gonna make turns on those. So first we're gonna start wide. Do a couple of these turns, now go around and come back and do it the other direction. Okay, so at first it might be a little bit difficult for you, but it's gonna get easier. There we go. So now it's the opposite direction. Now the trick to this is to move your head all the way to the right. The further your head is to the right, the easier it is for you to actually make the turn. Now I've done both directions. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to choose one of these smaller cones. These are not my cones, they were just here, but you can also purchase cones on Amazon and use them for practice. So we're going to make as tight of a turn as we can around these cones. Okay, looking all the way to the left. Alright. Now there's another cone conveniently placed for us right on this side. So now let's make a turn on this way. My turns are a lot better on the when I go to the left than it is to the right. That is so strange. And you're going to find that you're always better doing one way than the other. Alright, so that's basically it. I want you to practice that for maybe about a half hour. It might take you a little while just to get used to turning the motorcycle. But now that you're becoming comfortable turning the motorcycle, making a turn such as the one I'm making right now is going to be a whole lot easier.
A few moments later.
Alright guys, one of the most important things I want to teach you now is intersections. And the best place to learn in a safe manner is by going to a busy parking lot, such as the parking lot that I'm in right now. There's a lot of cars coming and going, and as you can see, there's intersections almost everywhere. The good part is that we're going to be doing less than 10 miles an hour. This is perfect because if there is a mistake and you drop the bike or something happens, then guess what? You're not going to be hurt, and it's not going to be that bad. Alright guys, let's get going. What I mostly like about parking lots is that there's a lot of intersections, and this is a great place for you to practice your maneuverability, stopping, starting, stopping, starting again. That's okay, go ahead. Okay, so he wants to make a left turn. I'm going to look to see if there's anybody coming. Nope. I set off. There's another car coming on my right side, so my vision is on him, making sure that he's got my attention. Now I'm going to look straight, making sure there's no cars coming on the right. Alright, so now I'm going to make a right turn signal. When you're on the street, number one, you're going way faster than you are now. The intersections are far and in between, so over here it provides you a very good way of learning how to ride your motorcycle with incoming cars. So every single one of these things is an intersection, making sure that you're always looking to see if there's cars coming. Slow down with your rear brakes As you can see, I'm not using my front brakes, and right now I'm coasting. I'm not using my throttle at all. There's a car coming on my left. I'm going to stop at this white line right here, let these people pass, using my rear brakes only. Alright, no cars on my left, no cars on my right, except for this guy over here. I'll let him pass. Alright. For the most part, what I want you to do is use your peripheral vision, but I also want you to turn your head. On those moments where you're not physically turning your head, I want you to use your peripheral vision to scan both directions at all times. Alright, now let's see if we can go into this parking lot here. We'll stop over here momentarily. Alright, there's nobody here. Let's make a left turn onto this intersection here. My suggestion to you is finding out where there are parking lots such as this, and then riding from your place to the parking lot and riding around for about 20 minutes to a half hour inside of this parking lot and practicing as much as you can, because this is practice right here. And then once you're done, go back home, and then the next day do the same thing. For the first week of riding your motorcycle, every single day if you can, if at all possible, go to your local parking lot and practice the way I am right now. And that's going to be your first week. On your second week, you can expand where you ride your motorcycle to, and then maybe pick out a different parking lot and then practice on that. So this is going to be a gradual process. The first time you ride your motorcycle, I don't want you to do it like everybody else does it, which is get on the motorcycle and then find a destination, and then boom, now you're there. Along the way, you will find that you're going to make a lot of mistakes, but it's better to make the mistakes in a location where it's closest to home, and it'll be better for you to learn in a place like this because you can go home and come back very easily. At all times, scan left and right. If somebody's lights are turned on, go with extra caution because they can back up at any time. I'm not using my front brakes, I'm using my rear brakes, just so you know, and this is what I suggest for you as well. When you're straight and you want to make a sharp left turn, the best way to do it would be to turn the handlebars all the way to the left, look all the way to the left, and then give it some gas and go. Alright, so there's a car on my left. I'll let him go first. Sometimes they're nice enough to wait for you, but make sure they go first before you go. Always give cars the right of way. Alright, let's park over here and summarize a little bit what we talked about so far. So as I mentioned, in your first week or two of riding a motorcycle, don't just get on your motorcycle and then Google map something and go out there and start riding. I don't think that's a good way of doing it for a lot of different reasons that I mentioned in the beginning of this video. Figure out where the nearest parking lot is closest to your home, and then ride on the street from your home to the parking lot, and then practice inside of the parking lot, because the parking lot teaches you really well how to navigate inside of intersections. On the street, the cars are going a lot faster, and so are you. If there's a situation where it gets a little bit hairy, chances of you getting hurt are a lot higher. So it's better that you take your motorcycle and practice for the first couple of weeks in a parking lot such as I am right now. Other than that, before you actually set off and go to the parking lots, make sure that you find an empty space and do a couple of circle drills like I did. So the first time you should do it clockwise, the second time you should do it counterclockwise, and practice that a couple of times per week, and that should help you how to turn the motorcycle, because when you're riding a motorcycle for the first time, turning it is probably the most difficult thing, especially when you're navigating at slow speeds. And don't forget, as a new rider, you will dump your bike. If your handlebar is tilted even a little bit like this, and you panic brake or give it too much at a slow speed, because the weight of the motorcycle, depending on which direction you have the wheel turned, will dump the bike this way or that way, and most of the time the bike will get damaged, but it's your ego that's going to get damaged along the way with it. So my suggestion would be for you to always use your rear brake in that type of situation. So anyways guys, that's been video number 2 on how to ride your motorcycle for the first week or two that you get your license. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. There will be another episode that comes along with this, and I really enjoy teaching what I learned, so expect more videos that are going to be similar to this. And until the next episode, ciao for now.